So hi, this is Nick Williams, and I'm sitting here yet again with Mike Dooley. We haven't seen each other for about 18 months. How you doing?
I'm great, Nick. Good to be in your company again.
Yeah, lovely to see you. I just spent a day with Mike yesterday on his workshop called Playing the Matrix. 200 people in London, loving it.
Yes, it was a good day.
You inspired them. So you're on World Tour 3, is that right?
That's right. Just did Stockholm, Amsterdam, Dublin, and London.
Wow. So you still loving it?
Yeah. I'm a bit fatigued right now, but I'm loving it. Thank you.
Good. So you very kindly offered to share a few tips because I created this program called The Message You Were Born to Share, because I think there are so many people that feel like they've got a message that they'd love to get out into the world to touch and inspire people that are not necessarily getting exposed to the ideas that are available today on the planet. So I put together a training program that's going over 6 months to help people do that, define their message, build their platform and get out there. And I'm asking a few people if they'd share some tips. So you very kindly offered to share a few tips from your experience. And I am trying to flatter you, but it's also true that you're probably one of the most successful messengers on the planet. Your daily emails do go out to, 370,000 people.
Yeah.
So the boy's done good.
Thank you.
If you're willing to, would you just share a few tips for people watching and listening to say, well, how have you done it? So I know this is hard for you because you could spend a whole day answering this question, but the first question would be, what is your message? If somebody could ask you to define your message in a sentence or two, what would you want people to know about themselves that you're telling them?
It would be very simply that life is beautiful and that we are powerful. We have a say in how our life unfolds. And life is not something that happens to us, we happen to life.
Great. So that's what you want as many people as possible to hear.
Yeah. It makes the journey much more fun, but it's much more than an attitude. It's the reality. Some things, known or unknown, remain true. They're the pillars of time and space, and the fact that we are natural-born creators is one of those pillars. And the sooner you find that out, the smoother the sailing.
Great. And when did you know that you wanted to be a messenger? Was there a point? Was there a wake-up moment? Was there a journey that you went, I want to do this. I want to be a messenger?
It came by default, really. I had been an accountant, a chartered accountant, certified, we call them in the United States, for 6 years. I sold T-shirts and gifts with my brother and mother for 10 years. I had learned about these truths that I teach 30 years ago, and it was always about employing them in my life, not teaching them. But 11 years ago, we decided to liquidate the T-shirt business because the trends were declining, and if we liquidated, we'd be ahead financially. And I was left in the precarious position of reinventing myself. And while I did want to choose to reinvent myself doing something I enjoyed, I was very mindful that I had to make a living. And it kind of dawned on me, since the T-shirts and gifts we sold had poems about dreams coming true and following your bliss, that I might expound on that. And I think I went through something that most messengers went through, and that some of your subscribers or clients will certainly go through, and that is, who the heck am I to be talking about this stuff? Particularly 11 years ago, when I felt like my life was a train wreck.
You can't even inspire yourself, let alone inspire anybody else.
Yeah, and I just remember thinking, how arrogant, how presumptuous, how ridiculous. But I felt like I did have a handle on reality, an insight that most people did not have. And because I was at the baseline starting over again, it was like, why not throw it out there? I wrestled with myself for weeks upon weeks before I sent my first insightful email to subscribers. And as soon as I did, to my true shock, there was instant appreciation sent back to me. People saying, this is great, I'm looking forward to Mondays now, because I sent out a Monday email. And the more I sent out, the more the appreciation. And it made me realize that once you hold up your light, immediately people will assemble to see what you've got to share, and they will discern and take from that message what suits them, what they need to hear. And I think what you're doing, Nick, is fantastic, because so many of us, almost everybody to a degree or another, has something to share and something to say. And if they can get past their self-doubts and begin sharing it, the audience will assemble. It's like a fact of life, and if they enjoy it, then the attendees will enjoy it all that much more. It'll be that much more meaningful. And
great, because one of my other questions was about how you overcome the humanness, because as you say, I think a lot of people do have the impulse, but they never get beyond their fear and resistance and manifest that impulse out in the world.
Well, there's a famous person, I wish I could tell you who it was, who said, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I was coming from a place, and maybe this is it's what it took for me to do this, where I was truly frightened about the rest of my life. I didn't know what I would do for a living the rest of my life. I was 39 years old when we liquidated the T-shirt and gift business, and I had a mortgage at the time. I was like, and I only had 12 or 24 months to coast. And I remember thinking, what am I going to do if I can't pull this off? I had my doubts, but as I teach, as long as you do your best, which will seem feeble, it'll always be enough. And so while I had my doubts and my fears, I continued to dream big and show up with little baby steps, not insisting that I be this, that, or the other. I dabbled with writing. I dabbled with speaking by joining Toastmasters. Hardly a heroic step. And I dabbled with the internet because it was even newer then. And I just waited to see what took. What did I enjoy? What did people enjoy? Where might I break through? So feel the fear and do it anyway. Just what's the alternative? Wait around for an epiphany or for Oprah to call?
Play small, be miserable. Feel like you're playing a small game and a pinched existence. I guess is the alternative, isn't it? So great. So I suppose my next question is, so what practical steps would you encourage? Well, what's been the most important thing that you've done practically to make it work for you? I'm guessing it might be just showing up and sharing with your notes every day. Is that right?
Well, it's turned into be the lifeblood of my little enterprise, these free daily notes from the universe. They've always been free. That used to kind of scare me in the beginning. How am I going to get water out of this rock? But they're still free to this day. And because I've done that, because I've really applied myself to writing well in each of the daily notes, they become very popular.
Yeah.
And the business model I have is have a free service, a valuable free service, and then for those who want more, an optional purchase. And certainly it's proven to be the cornerstone of all that I do. But at a deeper metaphysical level, the thing that really perhaps made possible where I am today was this, as you said, consistently showing up. I didn't know where I would get a break. I didn't know if it would be the notes, or if it would be the speaking, or if it would be affiliate marketing, or if it would be something else that I was doing. You can't know. It's impossible.
But that's what you teach in a way, is you don't know. All you can do is take the steps, but trust that it's going to emerge and it's going to come clear.
And be tenacious. I mean, I was tenacious. I was, fraught with fear and doubt and insecurities the whole way, but that's never an excuse to stop or to back off. Just I asked a lot of people for help. I asked you for help, 7 or 8 years ago, and you were there, and I appreciate that. I'll never forget it. And I've asked other people. People usually are so eager to help. Love is the glue of life, and some people won't be able to. Some people are too busy. Some people are helping to others.
Yeah, or too scared sometimes.
Exactly, and so that's fine. But continue to ask, and you will find guidance.
Yeah. I was just thinking as you were talking about how people tend to coalesce around a higher purpose, and they coalesce around something that strikes that chord of truth with them, don't they? Once they feel that, they want to support it in some way.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Okay. So similar question, I don't know if it would be any different, but what has most caused your success, would you say?
Okay, great question. What has most caused my success? I would say, and this is kind of what I try to teach, and I always spend hours out of any 6-hour program that I deliver. I spend the first 2 hours on understanding the truth about the nature of reality, who we are, how we got here, and what we can do with our lives. It's my premise that the number one thing that holds people back is not understanding. absolutely understanding, and it is knowable, the nature of reality. If you don't understand and you've got question marks and you think maybe God's judging you or God's testing you or you haven't earned it yet, or karma or spiritual contracts, there goes all of your power. I have felt blessed, I don't know, but I have felt in my path, and I've been on to the truth for 30 years now. When I was 19 years old, I received my first book about this stuff. Yeah. I feel so much certainty with my view as to how reality works, the mechanics of manifestation, and that is the number one ingredient to my success. Because I haven't given away my power to false idols, to karma, to, all of this stuff has meaning and is a great attempt to explain reality, but too often karma or spiritual contracts are misunderstood to the point people give away their power. You can have what you want, period. And you get it by thinking about it. And you can facilitate it by speaking about it and showing up and moving in the general direction of your dreams, no matter how negative you sometimes are, no matter how much you doubt, no matter how much you're afraid. If you know the truth and play it, you're done. You have to win.
Great. Well, pretty good. Thank you. I think I know the answer to this one, but I'll ask you anyway. How much has it felt like your plan, and how much has it felt like a divine or a universal plan unfolding?
Ooh, great. It's always, in my opinion, both. And what I teach now, and what I was teaching yesterday, was how to create a plan using this matrix that's the core of my teachings. And basically, we're one and the same. It just helps to kind of delineate our experience by saying me or my greater self or God. It's all one. But yet we are so much more than we realize with our physical senses. And the way we engage our higher self is to have general end results, which is what I was teaching yesterday, and thereby letting the universe find the shortest, quickest way. The universe always knows how your dream can come true. The instant you define it in terms of the end result, as if it was already done, you're already living a joyful existence, doing what you love, in great health, with super friends, abundant as you'd like to be. Define that end result somewhat generally is my preference, with a day's worth of support and insight. Then the universe can find the shortest, quickest way, so long as you're showing up. So truly, the hows will always be beyond our awareness and have to be turned over to life's magic. But yet, we summon those hows by creating, step one, the end result in our mind, in the vision that we dream about. So we instigate the whole thing. We spark the whole thing. There would be no universal plan if we didn't have our preferences that we chose. And that's so incremental. God does not have a plan for you. No plan whatsoever. You set the course with an end result, and then God jumps in, if you will. God, divine intelligence, the universe, and orchestrates the serendipities, coincidence, happy accidents that will help you arrive.
Okay, thank you. And if you could talk to the part of, the younger you, because I know you've been studying, metaphysics for years, but say the part of you that was beginning to want to be a messenger, like 12 years ago or 10 years ago, if you could give him 3, 4, 5, 6 tips from where you've got to today, what would you tell him?
That touches my heart, actually, because I think with the greatest fondness of the younger me 10 years ago, who was so scared. I mean, truly scared and doubtful. And I look back, and if I could just say, hang in there, because you can do it, and it's going to be better than you even imagine right now. And I know you're scared, and I know it seems like the action steps you're taking are futile compared to the life you're dreaming of. But all you have to do is hold on to the vision in spite of appearances that now are surrounding you, and do something, a few somethings every single day, and this will be enough to turn the tide, and you will arrive. It's funny, the journey is the best part. You get there, and it's better than you thought, but then you look back at where you've been, and the chasms you've crossed, and the dragons you slayed, and it's like, oh, that was the best part. That was the best
Better
part.
than any film I've ever seen.
The truth is stranger than fiction.
Thank you so much, Mike. Lovely to see you.
Great to be with you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching this. Hope it's been
Cheers.
useful. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it.